Alright, so we're going to be flying this guy. He's Amphibious. We're going out of Russellville. I've got on my other screen the map to where we're going, so I can kind of play that alongside. Once you actually get in here from the internal view cockpit, you can actually look at, like, actually I think you pull it down here. So you can have the VFR map, and you can pop it out where it actually becomes a window in Windows and drag it over to the other screen. So that's what I've done. Or you can resize it. So on the resize, you can basically put it side by side with Google Maps or any other reference map you might have to see where you're wanting to go, and kind of plot it out accordingly. So I know where I want to be is right here, basically. So I've done a lot of work to try to get my joystick to work. Throttle's a little bit wonky, but the main controls are pretty good. So we can get into actual flight takeoff. Give ourselves that throttle and get us off the ground. POV and a couple settings like that I really haven't gotten to work yet, but I should be able to fly us to destination. The main thing is when you're taking off here, realizing which direction you really need to be going. And then basically, yeah, I got to take my throttle where it's not forcing up the whole time. Get our RPM in the green area. Gonna change our view. External's a lot more fun to be on. And also you've got nice little trim and flap guidelines right there. So I'm gonna kill our flaps off. I'm gonna get us to about 10,000 altitude. I'm gonna get us going west, which we're doing now, so that's good. We take off almost heading dead towards Dublin Bay, which is really neat. I'm gonna kill down the game's sounds a little bit so you're not picking it up on the mic. You should already be getting it through the video. But we're essentially, at any point we want autopilot to kind of take control while we're messing with stuff. It should just be able to hit Z, but it hasn't seemed to be working well for me, so I'll just tell it. Do it the old-fashioned way. Gives you a second to say, okay, flaps are good, trim is level, altitude's good. If you want a little less throttle, you can adjust that via a different menu. You tell them, I don't want us to go at full throttle. It's got certain criteria, obviously, it's trying to hit us at. But there's essentially this two-seater. I actually made a couple of videos, but they were pretty catastrophic endings, so I didn't want to share those. But you kind of see two-seater. It's a brand new style plane, ultralight. It's got room for a little bit of cargo. But this Icon A5, it's about between $250,000 to $300,000 plane. But it seems very simple to fly. Not a lot of extra adjustments. You can even tell, kind of from. Oops, sorry. I gotta hit this middle mouse button again. But from internal cockpit view, you can actually tell, each pilot essentially could take control. You get your master power. You've got some adjustments for when you're ready. So we're ready to be on water if we wanted to be. I I'm not really sure what the water thing is, but there's a bilge pump and all that, so I guess once you land, you can pop that on, I guess, if there's any leaking, things of that nature. I started, I thought, with more fuel than that, but I've restarted this flight a couple of times. It may not have put a fuel tank in. It may have just put an optimum amount for the average flight, because it's roughly 500 nautical mile range. We got a flight coming up. I'm going to see what altitude this other flight's at. It's going to be on approach to Russellville, but he should stay off to our north. Don't see him. He's probably much higher than us. We're only like 10,000. Looks like 13,000 feet, so he's probably 20 or so. I don't see anything in the horizon yet, but should kind of be out in this turn. Not seeing him. He might be flying a much higher path than us. Oh, there he was. Just a flicker, I think. Or, yeah. There he goes. He's got his strobes on. So we're not going to be concerns for each other, and we're going to stay lower for our entire flight. In fact, about the time we get through this, I'll show you. Well, actually, I can show you on this VFR. Sometimes it lets me interact with this. It's not letting me interact with it now, probably because I've got it popped out. But we're right here. Our destination is going to be right here, right on the edge of this. That's Dublin. So we're already about halfway through our flight at the 7-minute mark. So it's about 15-minute flight, except for that we kill off some speed and altitude as we get through this next stretch of the river. So go ahead and switch back out to external. I have another flight coming in. He's going to be far out there, essentially on that mountain range, roughly. I'll show you what I'm seeing. It may actually show it on this other. No, I don't know why none of this is interacting right now. I've been able to. Let me see if I close out this VFR. Lets me start. No. Odd. Like all these interaction things are gone now, so there's something I've done. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. We're going to get where we're going this time, but I'd like to know where that's happening. It seems like a lot of those types of things are occurring, but yeah, we've got this guy. We're destinations right here, so we already kind of need to be dropping down. I'm going to pop this out as a Windows and full screen that on my other screen and switch us to external so you can kind of see our approach. So right over here, Dublin. So get this kind of squared up behind us. I need to invert an axis on my mouse. I'll do it after this. Because every time I try to go left, it's going right. Every time I try to go up, it goes down. So the mouse is annoying. But it's just for the view. It's not for control. So right now, our altitudes. It actually says we're quite a bit lower than I thought. That's fine. don't know, however, why AI controls are not toggling on and off. Things that make you go, It's a brand new game, so I suspect a lot of things are going to be fixed. I do recommend Xbox Game Pass for PC, because they have even like a trial for a month for $1, and then it's $5 a month after that. I mean, this is a $60 game you can essentially get for free as part of the Game Pass, so that's a really good deal, because that's 10 months of the service for the same price. It's already throttling down on its own, so it may have saved my destination. It may know where we're trying to go, which would be great, but we're still climbing. So I'm going to take a little bit of control here. Hopefully when I turn this shit off, it doesn't like throttle me down to nothing. Okay. So I'm going to keyboard control down the engine, because my joystick does not respond smoothly. There's all sorts of sensitivity settings that I need to adjust. But just learning, remembering to use the rudder versus roll. The roll, especially stability when you're coming down, it's a real mess. I crashed like 3 times just because the last seconds you've got no you've got so little lift left at such a low airspeed that it just goes all wonky. You're tipping wings when you can't tip your wing late in the flight. So you'd be pedaling with your left and right foot in reality. But the nice thing is we'll be able to come in kind of on the wide. We'll come in the south edge of the bay, near those other people's boat docks. Keep throttling down. At this point we could almost coast in, because I've got 2,000 feet of altitude that will continue to give me vertical drop that I like. Could trim up slightly, or flap. To keep us maintained in an up. And I think I'll do that. I'll stay with flaps for lift. Try to stay around 80 until, at this point, I think we could basically dead engine in. I'm going to try it. Just a little bit of thrust to maintain forward. Keep edging that throttle down. At this point, I've got 1,300 feet of altitude, and I really could be diving almost. Try to kind of kill some of our altitude through some side motion. I got a long, flight path to land in, so that's good. Basically dead engine at this point. Come on, baby, give me some altitude going. There's our dock on the right. I mean, like, you can even tell more flat. Little bounce. But I mean, just look at the side. I mean, I've got my graphics set to max right now. I don't know that my recording's at max. But yeah, now I can just kind of throttle us back up. Switch to internal. A lot easier to kind of mess around with things. What I don't know is how all this stuff's supposed to work. Inoperable. Inoperable. So, now, let's get ourselves up to the bay. Oh, and probably kill our flaps away. Gotta get a certain critical level of throttle, I guess. It's like about... Whoa. That's fun. Oh, sorry, that was me hitting my key stick. Now we're transiting. Don't want to climb too much airspeed. I want to stay in the 20 knot range. As you can tell, it's already warning me. But I mean, I feel like we could even have a skier behind this thing at this point. This should be us coming up. Our neighbors right there. See, we took off from Russellville 17 minutes ago. 2,000 RPMs. We're keeping about 20 nautical miles. A little more throttle. Get into our bay here. We're kind of getting slogged down by friction on the water. Should see our dock any second. I don't know how that's going to populate it. Obviously, it can't figure out topography quite right. Everything looks very, 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 very flat, which we all know that it's not quite so flat there. It goes up a hill. So we ought to have our dock. There's our dock, but it doesn't. It's not three-dimensional. I can see it though. Just looks like a shallow space. So some of their 3D stuff works well, and some of it. But that's Dublin right there, as far as it's concerned. So I can go back out to external. And I'm at Dublin Bay. You could never do that with a prior sim, but from up in air, I mean, they make it look really, really cool. What I don't know is if I can actually go reverse. I don't think so. So this will be fun to get out of here, but then I could probably take off flying back towards that way or out into the opening, but the safer thing would be to use the bay as shelter in reality. So let's get some of this fun time started. That notification's a little bit annoying. I think I can turn those kind of helpers off, so should be able to take off about any second. There you go. See, there's boathouses and things. I think when you get down lower to ground is when it kind of kills some of that off, takes some of these flaps away. Oh, I have 0 flaps. Interesting. But yeah, I flew over here before. It's kind of weird. Like, you see the road coming in, you see the ponds. You know, this is a really realistic, lively approximation of the area. And this is just the first revision. So there's some docks. That's not ours. Ours are down here. But I mean, it even picks up like that house that got built down there. The end of county maintenance. I gotta kill some of this throttle. But there's our dock down, straight down. But it's really pretty neat. Kind of explore the area without ever having been there or anything. But pretty cool. Pretty cool game. Maybe you like the old ones. And then you can get in here and adjust trim and all that. But that's all I really wanted to show. So I'm going to stop this recording.